born and brought up in Rohtak, studied in the Rohtak school. This village has actually revolutionary roots since beginning, because we produced more than 42 freedom fighters, football players, then officers. So a lot of freedom struggle, happened in Rohtak because we had 1920 non-cooperation movement conference was held, then Brother Party Memorial Conference was held. So we heard stories like it was in our culture of the village that we do something for the society. So when I was studying in the village school, so I read in the history books the lives of all great people like Mahatma Gandhi, Shahid Bhagat Singh, Lala Hardayal, Vinoba Bhave. So actually the question was coming to my mind, if those people, they laid down their lives for us, for giving our country freedom and for betterment of our society, and we are very well placed, we don't have to worry about anything, so why can't we contribute? Why can't we make our society much better, which is needed, So at that time, I had the seed sown in my inner self that, okay, I'll just make my village a model village in Punjab. Then I'll work for an equitable society, a just society where children have a leveling playing field for, develop and thrive. And this is a huge story for me for learning, unlearning and relearning. So that is what I want to share with you. So starting from the school days, the first learning was, how will I do it? In the conventional areas, okay, I'm studying hard, have my engineering degree, go to US for masters, then earn a lot of money, then send the money back to my village development. That was the early, success, which success meant for us is earning money and going abroad and sending money to my village. Guys, there was a turning point. I completed engineering, got through GRE. Meanwhile, when I was a passionate footballer, playing for my village football team and a college football team also. So at that time, because when I grew up, Punjab was going through a very tough time, and I personally faced that. The period between 1984 to 1997, it was a militancy period. So a lot of youths were killed either by militants or by police. A lot of them, they just fled abroad to have safer havens. So one of our generation of a village was totally, vanished from the village. So, and our village was known for football, producing national, international football players. They played for JCT, PSCB, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, and every house had a footballer, and so many livelihoods were just because of football. So due to this whole militancy period, there were no role models for kids, and kids were on the streets, starting having drugs. And we were the only last team left, last football team of the village. So we thought that we should do something. Yes, आओ बच्चों को खेल के मैदान पे लेके आते हैं, कैसे लेके आए? तो वो उनको खिलाना शुरू किया, उनको किट्स वगैरह लेके दी. So meanwhile, one tragic incident happened. What was that? And that was the turning point actually. एक हमारे स्कूल में 10वीं का मैट्रिक में there were 53 students in a matriculation. So the result came, and it was 100% result. 100%. Everybody got failed. There was not a single student can pass. So that was very shocking for us, who were inviting kids to the field, and for the whole village, that what sport would do, So that made us to relearn, rethink, what has gone wrong. So we just went to the parents, just give us one chance. एक मौका हमें दीजिए, हम आपके बच्चों को पढ़ाएंगे भी, उनको अच्छे प्लेयर बनाएंगे, अच्छे इंसान बनाएंगे. So they agreed. So I stayed there, and they came for tuition classes. We worked hard on the field, off the field activities में उनके साथ रहना, उनके साथ जीना. We were just football team. We had no staff, nothing. No. We were all volunteers. तो जब भी हमने किया पूरे, तो उसके रिजल्ट्स बड़े अच्छे आए. सारे बच्चे वो पास हो गए, और उनमें से 8 बच्चे जो पंजाब की टीम के लिए अंडर 18 टीम के लिए चुने गए, खेल के आए, मेडल्स लिए, और उसके बाद अच्छी तरह नंबर से पास हो गए. So the parents were happy, they started believing in us. And that was a learning for me. One was that what I learned in the past, I had to unlearn that going abroad, making money, and sending it back won't serve the purpose. Because you have to be there with the people who need you. That I realized. And I made my mind, I won't be going US, but I will be with these kids. That was one thing. Second thing was like the sports has a transformative power. It is a magnet. It is a magnet where you can connect with youth, with kids, with everyone, with the society. And you can transform those children in a way you want. So that happened, you know. So having learned that, we founded Youth Football Club Gurmangal in 2001. But we had big dreams, and we were convinced that we will be building not only players but good human beings, good students, good youth leaders for the future. But how to do that? We needed money. पैसा चाहिए. पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? तो we played some prize money tournaments around. मुझे याद है we raised 100,000 rupees. 1 लाख रुपया उस समय बहुत बड़ा amount था. With that amount के साथ we started football academy. In an institutional way, that kids were given kids, they were giving tuition classes, refreshments, exposure. We built a new pitch with the community help. Then और पैसा करने के लिए फंड रेज करने के लिए we were going to people's homes on Lodi function, doing banglas and all that, putting up cycle stands, things like that. Then involving non-resident Indians, because a lot of people from our villages, they have their third generation abroad. Like if we have 8,000 population here in Ruttakana, nearly that kind of population is living abroad in US, in UK and other countries. So we involved in RIs. So there the foundation of YFC was laid. We got registered, we are a registered entity. So then the journey again comes of unlearning, learning and relearning and growing. So we thought, we started residential football academy. We brought the concept, first time in Punjab, youth coaching starting at the age of 12 years, 10 years, grassroots development. We brought an idea, not playing to train, but training to play. It was the first idea. And we brought coaches from AC Roma, from Wolverhampton, from Coventry to train our coaches, capacity building of coaches. We created training sessions, We took the sports science mechanisms. We brought processes and systems to the field. And to that academy, that is called now Sports for Excellence program. That produced more than 21 players for Indian national team and still producing. Then we had another, the transformative power of sports. We knew that sports itself teaches you so many things: discipline, confidence, teamwork, resilience, patience. But when we went abroad, we saw that there is another way of teaching kids through sports, and that was sports for development. That was new to us. We knew that we are doing right, but a lot more can be done with sports, with the experiential learning things, with the pedagogical approach of the sports, with activity-based learning. So I went to Germany, I went to UK to meet people, bring people to train our people, and from zero we started this whole system. We produced our own resources, and we impact assessment we introduced, monitoring evaluation techniques we introduced, and we developed our own resources. The young leaders, the youth from the programs were trained as youth leaders, program managers, monitoring evaluation experts, coaches, mentors, that from very our own program. So that program teaches life skills, how to build confidence, works on gender, works on sexual reproductive health. We have more than 400 sessions for every age group, which are based on like life skill learning, then climate resilience, and so and so. So now that program is delivered to more than 10,000 children across two states, Gujarat, Punjab. So with community and schools, our mentors deliver those programs daily basis. So this is a big achievement, And then we started Girls Break, Girls League program. That is again a very good story. That we were just sitting in our office, it is 2013, we were in the office, and some girls from the nearby school, they just came, and said, I want to meet you, they said, and there was 20 odd girls, and they just came to the office, said, Paji, आप लड़कों के लिए तो इतना कुछ कर रहे हो, हमारे लिए क्या कर रहे हो? Actually, मेरे पास कोई जवाब ही नहीं था. And those girls challenged my stereotype. I couldn't sleep full of the night. Yes, ये तो हमने कभी सोचा ही नहीं कि लड़कियां भी खेल सकती हैं, लड़कियों को भी लाना चाहिए ग्राउंड पे. तो अब challenges उसमें बहुत थे. So we had to, unlearn that belief कि लड़कियां ने नहीं खेलना होता, लड़कों ने खेलना होता है. तो बच्चों को फीमेल कोचेस भी चाहिए, और कम्युनिटी में कंजर्वेटिव कल्चर पंजाब का, तो कैसे उसको एक्सेप्टेंस में लाएं. तो वी थॉट नोवेल आइडिया कि हम इसको प्राइमरी स्कूल्स में स्टार्ट करते हैं. वी स्टार्ट गर्ल्स इन प्राइमरी स्कूल्स, 30 स्कूल्स. नाउ 30 स्कूल्स में स्पोर्ट्स के मेंटर्स कहाँ से लाएं? जिस क्षेत्र में लड़कियां खेलती ही नहीं है, वहाँ पे कोचेस मेंटर्स और लड़कियां कहाँ से लाएंगे? That was a big question. So we had our livelihood skill development center going on, and there we had more than 60 girls, and we had a experiential learning conference workshop to ignite this spark. Let's come on. You should do this. Otherwise nobody will do it. So that was actually very good experience with them. Those girls took the lead, and we deployed 30 youth facilitator girls in 30 government primary schools. From there, like 5 years onwards, they became leaders in their own villages, in their own communities. And now we work with more than 2,000 girls. And more than 80% of our mentors are girls in YFC. So that was a big achievement. So similarly, as the organization grew, we had challenges in the community. As the challenges we faced and our capacity was increasing, we started other programs like a center for special children, a center for physiotherapy and rehabilitation of old people. So to include those kids who are left behind, to include those kids who are not self-dependent, to make them self-dependent, to have activities of sport for special children, that we included. Then another thing is a project which is the most important thing which I would say we did. It was like since over the years we were working with kids, and in the Rotkakla village, whole of the leadership of the village, the panchayat, changed because our people, they came into power. They came into political power. And it was a time when we could change the whole village. It was an opportunity. Those leaders, especially we had a women's sarpanch. So last 7 years, we invested more than 15 crores in our village, laid down sewerage systems. Our ponds were reinvented. So they were source of irrigation. The pond water is filtered and then it is reused for irrigation of farmland. Then we had a solid waste management program, which is we collect solid waste from each and every house and then process it for composting. Other plastic is also processed and sent to the recycle industries. And that is the only project in Punjab which is working in a rural area. And we have guests from central ministries, joint secretary level officers visit that. So that is also very good. Then we put street lights. Then we put our own ambulance services, community service center for. Then we put community centers for old people. You've seen in the pictures. So, and actually this is a testament, basically how youth-led development can work, how young minds can act, can learn, relearn, and grow. So this is an example. So, and another more programs are coming. So we are evolving every day, every minute, and the theme is very relevant. And every minute we are learning, relearning, unlearning. So, this was my story, and it's still going on. Now, YFC, which started with a small football club, just we had football and kids and a portion of ground. So we now reach up to 10,000 children in 3 states, in Nagpur, in Gujarat, in Kutch district, and in 3 districts of Punjab. And we have a lot more projects coming on. And we are working with FIFA Foundation, then German Development Cooperation, the Generation Raising Foundation, and we have created our own facility, state-of-the-art sports and sports for development center at Kolkata. So my actually wish is that I am among you like most brilliant minds and future leaders of this country. So you have to believe in yourself, which already you do, but find a purpose what you want to do. And be with the people who need you most, be with those communities. When I was studying engineering, I was just questioning my principal there. So we have this big college here, we will do degrees and we will learn something. But what about the villages around? Are we able to transform some of the villages around us? Are we, capable of having some change in and around in our communities? That is a big question. And that will give you more learning, unlearning and relearning and a good purpose in life. So I have my friends staying in US, they are CEOs of big companies, but they always say, and I always say that my life is, I think my life is better because I chose what I wanted to do and I've been able to do it. And that is very purposeful, that is very fulfilling. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm there for another couple of minutes. Any questions?